Welcome to the Force Always. My name is Diz, aka David Zammit. Let's get on with the news, views, reviews, and interviews. And here it is, big episode. Not only because it's my fourth episode this week, which is, hasn't been done for many, many years on my behalf. Not that there's any indication that I am not liking Star Wars as much. It's just, the amount of time I can spare. But anyway, let's get into it. Star Wars Starfighter, which was announced at Japan's Star Wars Celebration, has started production. Apparently, the last 48 hours, they're rolling cameras. They've got announced even the cast, and to include in the cast, we've got Amy Adams, who's been in a movie like Arrival. That was fantastic. I think she also played Lois Lane in the Man of Steel, not the latest Superman, but Man of Steel. And we've also got a guy named Aaron Pierre. I think he's French, to be included. So that's, started rolling. That's fantastic. More about that in the interviews section a bit later on. Some more news. D23 is on this weekend. What is D23? D23 is a Disney, sort of fan event that is more about, sort of promoting sort of up and coming projects. Whether it's Marvel, whether it's some animation or whatever, and including Star Wars now. So D23, Disney, D is for Disney, and it, they own Disney, they own Star Wars. So expect either one or both things. I reckon we will get a poster or some sort of trailer for The Mandalorian Grogu, which will be exciting. I don't think they'll show you the exact footage at Star Wars Celebration in Japan because it was not really a properly laid out trailer. I think they'll just sort of make it a bit more refined. But it was still very good. So we'll probably see either a teaser or a poster. They may say something about Starfighter. I don't know. Starfighter being the new Star Wars film coming out in 2027, 50th year anniversary. I am still on what I said all the way in Star Wars Celebration Japan. I believe it's a secret episode 10. That's what I think. I think they'll announce it at the next celebration, which is a month before the release of Starfighter. That's my opinion. It's just my speculation. If it's not episode 10, it's okay. It's no problem. It's still coming out. I'm actually more excited for Starfighter than Mandalorian and Grogu. But I think, when you do see the footage, and what we'll see probably all together in, extra footage, Mandalorian and Grogu, I think, look pretty good. It's just, I don't know if it's, I don't think it's going to be as grand in scale as much as Starfighter. Anyway, so that's pretty much the news. Let's get into views. Views will be super, 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 super simple because I want to get into the other stuff. So my story idea, that's what views is. It's just my story idea, not to say that, you must take my story idea on. It's just a story idea. I've said many times about Starfighter being episode 10. I've said it does need to include Rey. You know what? It doesn't actually have to require Rey Skywalker. That's what I was talking about. But I think it would be good that the acknowledgement of Rey Skywalker, or Rey, or whoever you want to call her as, Rey Palpatine, I think the eventuality of having her being a part of this particular movie, Starfighter, which is actually 5 years after the events of Rise of Skywalker. So it's pretty close. She is somewhere. It would be great to sort of have her included, but, to have a fresh slate of new ideas would be still great as well. Anyway, That's my quick story idea. I'd just like to see Ray still be a part of episode 10, but at the same time, in a contradictory way on my behalf, to start, fresh with new characters without any mention would be still great as well. That's just, it's my story idea. It's not my unique story idea. I'm sure everyone's thinking of this, but I just thought I'd put it out there. But anyway, let's get into reviews. Speaking of Mandalorian and Grogu coming out, which is actually coming out in 2026. So that's why I'm thinking that they're going to say or reveal something at D23, because we are now in August and it comes out May. So we're within a big time 6-month period here. We need to start rolling something to get people excited for this movie. But during COVID, one of the things I ordered online, which is not many things, but it was the way to go during COVID. It was so crazy, COVID, especially where I'm from. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. We had the longest lockdown in the whole world. Why? I have no idea. If you knew our city, it's not that dirty. It's not that bad. It's just our particular leader at that time decided, well, let's just keep, rolling on. Anyway, that was then. But the one thing I got was this. This is something you can get pretty easily, but at that time, it was a sought after thing there. It's the Black Series Baby Yoda, known at the time. And in fact, it's called the Child here. So it's actually called the Child. So that could be, this could be a collector's item, it being called the Child, because it's now, the Child is really Grogu. So I wonder if the new packaging has Grogu. If so, then this is proof that I bought it way back then. Smallest figure I've ever got, and it's a Black Series. Grogu, or the Child, or Baby Yoda, whatever you want to say, that is it. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. I'm not huge. I do like Grogu. I do like the Child. I do like, Baby Yoda, whatever you want to call it. But I'm not like over the moon. My favorite character is Yoda, but Grogu is just a little bit too cutesy for me. But anyway, it's fine. Let's get into interviews. Interviews is moi. Until Michael from Werribee South gets his act together about questions. He's been asking me some questions. I said just send them through and I can then detail them on the show. But anyway, we'll just wait for Michael in Werribee South, who has many questions in life and lots about Star Wars, but I don't exactly know what they are right now until he sends them through. But anyway, my interview is on myself, exclusive once again. So the question to myself is, what do I think of the Starfighter reveal so far? Well, I think it's starting to amp up in a really slow but sure way. It does sort of remind me of how The Force Awakens was amping up. They released a big black and white photo of the whole cast doing a read-through. And in this particular reveal, there was a black and white photo of Ryan Gosling and the young kid. Apparently, he is force sensitive. It's starting to sort of feel like The Force Awakens all over again. The only thing I'm going to say, I'm a big Jake Lloyd fan. Even Armored Best. These two people played, the small Anakin Skywalker, and Armored Best played Jar Jar Binks, and not along with other characters. But the torment that these two people and others have gone through, especially being so young, like Jake Lloyd was. He was like a small kid. He was playing the biggest child that's going to be the biggest villain in the galaxy. He was so tormented that he gave away acting. He doesn't really attend Star Wars events. He has, but he's not always on the. I think Jake Lloyd. I feel for Jake Lloyd. I just think, look, I think there's a bit of responsibility on Disney and or Lucasfilm and or Star Wars, whoever the heads are, to take care of these people, of the sudden impact of toxic fandom that destroys the people. Like Ahmed Best, I met Ahmed Best at Star Wars Celebration, got a photo with him, got an autograph. You probably see, we're actually right there. I think it is right there. That's him having a photo with myself, and I think above that's that's Jar Jar Binks with the photo, it's autograph. But I spoke to Ahmed Best at that Star Wars Celebration. He was a great guy, very, very attention. Like he paid attention very acutely, and I was a bit emotional. I did sort of say, like he was almost about the suicide. I think, he was about to go over the Brooklyn Bridge. That's was reported. Whether it was the actual fact, I didn't really want to go into detail about that with him. I just explained to him, which is sort of a fun fact from my time in Phantom Menace, which is episode 1. I said, it's funny. Everyone sort of went crazy at Jar Jar Binks, your character, which is, I'm speaking to Armor Best here. And I just thought it was just another weird, wacky alien, which I still do to this day. Yes, it's got a bit of an annoying voice, but it was a weird and wacky alien in the Star Wars universe. I didn't think any differently. But when I saw Darth Maul for the first time, I thought he looked like a crazed basketball fan, especially from America. And I just thought, this, what is this? And I said this to Armor Best. I said, well, that's proof that your character was not that bad to every single person. I mean, I'm sure he knows this, but anyway. So that's what part of my interview here is to sort of say, whoever is in charge, which I think is Disney, needs to sort of really take care of the aftermath of these next 2 films coming out, especially with Starfighter. You have a young child is going to be force sensitive. He looks like the age of Jake Lloyd. I don't know. He looks like him. He just needs to be taken care of because, whether he's on extreme high or extreme low, there's definitely going to be a roller coaster ride in the entertainment industry. Like, it hits anyone. There's always ups and downs. So that is my piece of advice and the answer to my exclusive interview with myself. Once again, hopefully we can get some questions here from Michael from Werribee South, which is a very hard area in Melbourne, Australia. Let me tell you, it's hardcore. Only the hardcore live over there. When I say hardcore, you got to really make a real big choice to live on that side of Melbourne. Anyway, that is the show for this time around. Until next time, my friends, keep rocking.